All right, welcome back to the channel. Today's daily recap is a trade on Snapchat, and I just wanted to show you some things so hopefully you can learn and benefit from this trade. Some context. Snapchat had earnings. It had earnings on February 4th, 2026. The time of this recording is February 11, 2026. If you want to reference it and look it for yourself, it dropped and flushed down, as you can see, dramatic, right? From about 750 all the way down to 512. And so I saw that the other day as I was looking at um, the chart, thinking of certain plans on what to trade. And because I like to do reversals, I was like, okay, maybe this is, going to have some sort of move correction. Um, but because it has such a large drop, it actually had a little dead cat bounce yesterday, and I should have probably considered that this right here was a little dead cat bounce and it's just going to drop again. But my thesis was maybe it would could move further up, right? And so I put these take profits because this dotted lines are the previous day candle, the previous high, and the previous low. Um, so disregard this red candle because that's today, but just giving you some context of what I had in mind. And so I see that there was a support here at about 511 that it was holding. And so, I came up with a bullish idea that maybe it would make a little another move up, maybe even, TP1, TP2, I don't know if we would go up there, but I was just looking at it in that context. And so this is today's daily candle. Now you're seeing what happened today. It actually dropped lower. So this was a dead cat bounce and yeah, definitely not what I had in mind. And that's another lesson. You can have a thesis, but in reality, man, the market's going to do whatever it wants to do, and we cannot be in the prediction markets because we can't predict a dang thing. And the more and more I trade, the more and more I learn and learn the hard way is that you just have to let the market do what it does, not try to predict what it's going to do, and just be at the right place at the right time. So I put this box here that was showing us that this has been in a range for the past few days, right? So after the earnings, it dropped and finally it looks like it hit the bottom because it's consolidating right here, right? So when I said it had a dead cat bounce, that was the dead cat bounce, and it was having just a range, and you can see the wicking candle that's preventing it from going above 545 about. So at the close of yesterday was around 521. And so that leads us to today. Today, this is what happened. And let's take it on a smaller timeline. Obviously, we see that it broke the range and it actually broke down. And it was against my my idea of what I had in mind the other day when I was thinking about this trade because I was thinking it would have a little more bounce to it. But regardless, if I was trading correctly, smart, and just understanding that the market can do whatever it wants to do, then I should just, trade accordingly. And so I waited 5 minutes. That's the rule. 5 minute opening range. I marked it. And in context, I know it broke the range. Okay, fine. I'm not going to trade in the 5 minutes to see if it goes up or down, breaks up or down. And obviously it broke down right away the next after the 5 minute candle. Flush. Boom. Right? And I already had this line here. So I was like, psh, obviously, no support there. Although at the time when it was trading, it looked like it might hold support, but obviously, nope. So after that, I actually didn't have any other support lines here drawn. So this horizontal ray here extended from previous support areas, and this one I didn't probably look too far left long enough, but I didn't, you know, I didn't see a support, so I didn't enter. Although here you see remnants of the catastrophe of the trade I took, but I saw that it was like, okay, well, it looks like maybe it's got some support here, Like, oh, okay, I saw this strong wick. I was like looking at the level two. There was like some possibly good buying, or at least it convinced me enough to consider it. And I saw this green candle come up and just engulf this candle, and I was like, oh. And then there was another green candle here, and I was just like, oh, it's ready. And that's where I entered here. I know I FOMO'd because I was actually, it took me a while to enter. I had my entry spot here, to be honest. I believe I remember I was trying to enter here at 5, and then it just kept going up, and I had to keep raising my entry until I was like, let me just get filled. And of course, as soon as I got filled, right, that's when you see this wick down. Okay, I'm just giving you context because that right here is FOMO. I definitely FOMO'd and fumbled this trade here because I could have had, if I just waited, even just being patient, if I got filled right here, and if I didn't get filled and it went up, okay, fine. But then I would have seen, okay, fine, it didn't, it went down. Then maybe, you know what I'm saying? I could have re entered here at these lower levels at $5 instead of at 504, 505. Now 5 cents, you say, oh, it's 5 cents. 5 cents makes a difference in the trade, you know, because if 5 cents, I would at least been able to um, get some, 5 cents. That's a reasonable trade for me at least, versus where I'm at 505, because it changes the context. Because now I'm way up here and I'm like below the consolidation point. Now, if I had more money to dollar cost average or to accumulate, I could have accumulated, but the context is that if you've been following the 25K challenge that I'm in, I'm currently bag holding stocks and I'm in positions. And so my amount that I'm able to day trade has decreased considerably, which is why my max amount that I bought was like 350 shares on this thing. And so I couldn't even average down anymore and buy more shares, which, you know, if I was able to accumulate to $5 and sell at 506, 508, get a little scalp there, that would have been okay for me, you know, get that little bounce. And that would have been fine for me. But because I FOMO'd here, I made my first mistake because I saw this, like I said, I saw this John Wick candle, you know, and then the engulfing candle that took this candle out, and then the next candle. Just imagine, okay, initially this is green because when you see this topping tail, obviously it was green, and then the sellers brought it down. So I was trying to enter once I saw this, but it was moving, moving, that I had to like keep trying to chase it. And when I finally got in here at 505, that's when it just sellers pushed it down. So I was already in a bad entry point. But I recall I had my stops below here at 5497. And so I was thinking, well, whatever, right? 505 with 300 shares, it was like a reasonable risk for me. And I was thinking I was gonna take it to, um, I had a small 25 sell here at 510, and then another one here at 514, and the risk and reward was not not appropriate, but I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna raise my stops anyway if it goes if it goes my way. And so obviously I should have I could have just gotten out, right? I could have just gotten out even if it once it broke here or whatever. I could have just gotten out, and once I knew like okay the trade wasn't validated, I didn't have the right plan. Get out, reevaluate. Do you still want to get into this trade or not? But I was hard headed. I'm like, I'm already in it and I'm just going to stick with it. And even when the trade went my way and I could have made, with 300 shares, it was only like seven some dollars or something like that. Like, I didn't want to take profit. I didn't want to take it. I was like, no. I even raised up my stop, but I was like, dude, that's like 1 cent. I'm going to get stopped out because I know like it took so long for this to consolidate. I got to give this time to where work its way up because it's been consolidating barcoding for almost half the day. I'm expecting at least a bigger move up here. And so that's the whole mindset again about it. It's like you're trying to make this trade work, when it's already a bad trade. Now, if I had entered here, let's say around $5, okay, let's just say $5. Let's put this here just so we can get an idea and say I got $5, and I did really good at $5 and it's $300. I could still put a decent stop loss, but then even look here, it would have been a 2 to 1, 1 to 2, right? It's a big difference, right? And if I put it even better tight stop, that's like 1 to 3. You see what I'm saying? It's just it's the entry was wrong because I FOMO'd and I didn't just cut it. It came to my mind to just cut it, man. Just cut it. It's like $2-3, whatever. Just it's wrong. You're wrong. Get out. And then if I thought like, okay, I want to give it another chance, you know, I could have kept an eye on it. Look at it. It's been consolidating, and then I could have took this little minimal risk, $6, and still have your set targets, this resistance level here, and boom, 1 to 3. You know, 1 to 3, man. Now you're dealing with 300 shares. Let's see if you do 1,000 shares. That's $60, 20, 60, 1 to 3. Whatever the size, it doesn't really matter the size. It's the idea behind the trade. And like I said, learn from my mistakes. So what is the lesson to recap here? Okay, the lesson I think to recap and the main point is that you want to come in with a thesis. You want to come in with an idea with context. So you know that this dropped after earnings. It's been ranging, consolidating. You found the support and the resistance zone. Fine. Okay. You saw that it broke down below. Okay. Fine. You saw that it consolidated in this area most of the day. Fine. The problem was in when you entered. First of all, FOMO. If you know that you got a bad entry on this after it went down here, it came back up here to give you some forgiveness. Only 1 cent. Just yeah, I could have took it out. 1 cent. I could have took it out and just let's see, 300 shares, and then if I just got out of it, I would have lost $3. Fine, $3. I'm out. Now you just look at it again and be like, okay, what's going on here? Do I really want to re-enter here? Let's look. Okay, let's see. So it looks like it's just barcoded, whatever, whatever, and then you can make that decision what you want to do. If you want to re-enter, okay, fine. Let's see. Looking at my previous stop was 497. Okay, so let's see. So that was my previous stop, 497. So 300. Okay. So 397, you want to re-enter again, try it again. I just went over it with you, but take a $6. $6 risk, fine, and then take this right here. That's a good trade, man. That's like that's a good trade. That's more than 1 to 1. That's 1 to 3. Is my math right? Yeah, 1 to 3, 1 to 4 right here. Boom. That's a good trade, man. You know? And you can just imagine again how many shares you would have put in. The shares don't matter, it's the trade, right? Obviously, because the more shares you buy, the more. But if I say I had the buying power and my risk is like max loss for the day is $100, which is really on a regular day that is my max loss. I would have been like, okay, I'm just gonna max out the day. This is my one trade. Boom, you may have made $400, right? So understand that it's a 1 to 4 trade, man. It's not fancy, it's not beautiful, it's ugly. But the point is, you manage your risk. You just say, okay, this is what's happening. Look, we got some support right here, we got some support right there. You see that the wick just bounced off real good here. Boom, it's still here. And then you're like, okay, let me just play that. Let me play that. If it's 150, then maybe you can't put that much on it. Maybe you can only put 3,000 shares. Keeps you at a below 100 max loss. You still would have made $200. You understand? So it's just being smarter, being wiser, and putting these pieces together and recognize it when you make a mistake. My problem is, if you watch one of my other videos, is that I hate to lose. I hate to lose, but you have to be a good loser. I got it out here. I had it out. I had it out here if I really just wanted to get out. It was even giving me out here for the green, and it was a bad trade. So just take it, man. Just take it and move on. Say, I'm out. Don't look at the potential that you would have made when you already messed up. Just take it, and yeah, maybe next time you take it and then boom, it goes crazy. But you know what? You just got to learn to get out when you're wrong. The sooner you can get out when you're wrong, you can come back in and then you can put in a better trade down here and have better results. So that's what's wrong with me sometimes, because I think I hold on to the trade, I get attached to the trade, and I just can't just let it go, you know? Let it go, man. And so that's what happened here, and that's why I I didn't make any money. Sucks for me. But hopefully you learned something from this video. Hopefully you learned something from this trade. Again, um, these videos are more for me to journal, to document my progress, and I'm putting it out there for the world, hoping that you benefit from it and see how real it is to trade, that it's not glamorous and all that. It's not easy. And maybe you guys are having more success than me, but statistically, I know most people struggle with it. And so the more you can recognize your mistakes and the more you can learn even from my mistakes, start going through the process of your trades and being like, why did I do this? Why did I do that? Again, FOMO messed me up. Not cutting trades messed me up. I turned a $3 loss to, like, double digit loss unnecessarily. And I'm still negative with 75 shares that I'm holding on to. Why? I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? But stop, don't trade like me, but you can still learn from me. So again, hopefully you got some value from this. If you did, I appreciate you smashing that like button, just like when you smash the table when you have a bad trade. No, but yo, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Please, as I always say, be nice because I know I suck. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to get better. Just like you, if you out there, be encouraged. You're not alone. We're out here. We're trying to make the most of it. I want to be able to do this for a living. And so I know I got a long ways to go, but I appreciate all the support, all the feedback. Once again, like, subscribe, check out my other videos. I'm doing the 25K challenge, 25K in 1 year, and so far um, I'm behind. But check out that other videos and other lessons that hopefully you can learn from. And until next time, God bless.